Drop a bomb, 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 bomb.
Back with a vengeance. KG's back with an entrance. Big up to those in attendance.
Look at this.
Reds come together like Tetris. No rules, this one's reckless. KG, this one's crazy.
You're too lucky this.
None can compare with the KG Don. Better take cover when he drops that.
Bomb,
Going
bomb.
on reckless, trust it's on. It's that time when he drops that.
Bomb, bomb, bomb. I said drop a bomb, Dad.
Hello. Is that better? That's better, isn't it? This fraud. What a every time. Can you hear me now though? Yeah, just give a thumbs up. We hear you. Okay, all right. What a dick. Anyway, let me just laugh at myself for a second. Dickhead. Anyway, all right, cool. No. The people, the man, no. All right, look. We'll spin the wheel for me later. Let's get back into the show. First of all, guys, welcome. Yes, record sports, all that, blah, 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 blah. I was talking about the APA. That's what I was talking about. Amorim Protection Agency is already out in full force, apparently. People in here. Yes, and my internet is still on live support. Yes, Pav, my internet is still on live support. So by the way, guys, if I start moving funny, let me know. I spoke to BT this morning and they said that they're sending out technicians, but it might take up to 2 days for them to fix it. So it is what it is. I can't do anything about that. The provider is the provider. But as I was saying, look, reports came out this morning from, well, last night actually, from Roy Keane slamming Manchester United. And as we all know, the backlash from the fans last night was saying that a lot of the fans are unsure about where they are with Amorim right now. I mean, do you really think that we're able to get into the finals of this Europa League? Is there a real possibility for Manchester United? Because I'm not sure if it is. Let's be honest with ourselves now. What are we really hoping to get from this season? Is the season already over and we're just hanging on to threads because we need something to hang on to as fans? I'm already scared. I'm already scared, and I understand why you would start APA. The whole reason why I started the THDL. I can understand it because the guy does need more time. The fact that I saw a lot of the fans that were telling me to support the team when I was questioning certain things last night really had me baffled, because the fact that it took last night's match, which it was against Newcastle, who are way higher than us in a much better position, going for much higher accolades than us this season, would probably beat us. Do you know what I mean? So why the big backlash? Is it because it was 4-1? We saw the criminal mistakes. We know who was to blame for certain things. Why is the manager getting so much hype from this? You guys already gave him a free pass. So Roy Keane slamming the team, at least he slammed the team and not so much Amorim. That's what I'd have to say. At least you could appreciate he wasn't actually laying into Amorim. Let me try and see if I can get up some of those thoughts of what was actually said by Roy Keane. There we go. Post reads. Roy Keane signs Manchester United players after Newcastle defeat. Right. Let's try and see if I can get some of his quotes. Roy Keane has unleashed a a scattering attack on Manchester United's current squad following their embarrassing 4-1 defeat to Newcastle on Sunday. Speaking to Sky Sports, the former captain described his old team as physically and mentally weak, slamming their lack of fight and discipline after the second half collapse. That's 14 league games they've lost, Keane said. 14 league games. There's not enough players who run in the team. United now are physical and mentally weak. I mean, you don't really see anything wrong with what he's saying. You know, there's a mentality problem. I think we all know there's a mentality problem. So hold on, let me remove this. Let me remove this. Yeah, I think we all know that there's been a mentality problem at Manchester United for a long, long time, since before Ruben Amorim came here. Yeah, we all know that the players check out when they want to, and even that report that came out, or that interview that Varane had a couple of months back, kind of highlighted that whole situation, that they can turn it on when they want to turn it on. So if that's the mentality of our club right now, what are we going to do moving forward? How many players do you have to move out, ship out, to get in the right mentality at this club? And let's face it, that leads me to another subject of this morning. I keep saying it. Liam Delap, right, has also come out saying that he prefers Chelsea. Well, reports are saying that he prefers Chelsea. Is it true? We don't know. But if that is the case, then our number one target already is saying that he doesn't want to come here. We're getting snubbed for Chelsea. Imagine that. In big 2025, big Manchester United is getting snubbed for Chelsea. For Chelsea. We're a laughing stock. This is us. It's getting to the point right now where we have no leg to stand on as a club anymore. We might as well just be quiet. Yeah. We have so much things that we need to work on as a club, that the only thing that I can find positive out of this story this morning is that maybe that might force us into getting a more experienced striker. Will Ineos break their little structure that they've got going on when it comes to the transfers, and then go and get an elite striker instead of trying to build another project? Because I don't even want to know who's behind Rory Delap as the second choice as a project striker. After that, you might as well keep Rasmus Højlund, because anybody lower than Rory, and I keep saying Rory, don't I? Anybody lower than Delap, right, is just going to be a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. Because if you don't give the manager the tools that he needs next season, then what people are saying, his supporters are saying they're only giving him 3 months. They're only giving him 3 months. Like, if he gets all the tools he needs, then he's only getting 3 months anyway. So imagine if he doesn't get the tools that he needs, he's going to be buried. This guy will be buried before he's even started, 100%. You know what? I think I've yapped enough. Let me just stop talking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send a link in the chat. And yo, please, if you're here, please be on standby just in case. I'm not sure what the internet's been looking like. I hope the internet's been interneting, because I'm using one of them little boxes that they sent me as a backup box. And I don't know if that little thing can actually survive today, but let's see if it survives today. Right. First things first, yeah. I need to know where you stand with Amorim. Yo, if you're here, do you mind doing a poll just asking like where people stand with Amorim? Do they think Amorim? I want to know if people think that we can still win the Europa League. That's one thing I do want to know. Can we win Europa League? And then after that, I'll ask another question. If you could put that up, please, as a poll. Yo, please let me know if you can. Anyway, let's get back to it. Who's the first caller? First through the door, as always. Pav, what's going on, bro?
Yo, man.
Talk to me, fam. After yesterday's performance, how are you feeling today?
Normal, because like I said, it's expected, isn't it? I already knew this game we were losing. I knew we were losing. I knew we were losing against Forest. I knew we were losing this game. We drew against City, right? Did we draw against City?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one surprised me because I thought we were going to lose that one. The Lyon one, I thought we were going to win. We should have won. But obviously a certain brother didn't want that to happen. Imposter among us, innit? So, yeah, that happened. And then come this Thursday, I don't know what to predict. I honestly don't. The Roy Keane stuff doesn't surprise me what he's saying because it's not the first time it's happening, and we don't need Roy Keane to tell us how dead this squad is because we've known this squad has been dead since last year. Even with the additions that we've had this year, it hasn't improved. So for him to come out and say anything, I couldn't care less because most of us already know what he's saying. So it doesn't. We don't need his validation or anyone else's validation to tell us how dead the team is, how dead the manager is, how dead the club is, how dead the owners are. Don't need no one to tell us. We know all this.
What do you expect right now, yeah, Pav, from the manager in terms of like performance? Are you blaming him like some of the fan base was yesterday? Because I just didn't understand the 180 that everybody did, but that a lot of fans did yesterday anyway after the Newcastle game. When
What do
I
you
thought
mean 180? Elaborate on that.
or the 360, 180, people have turned around, bro. Some people have just turned around, innit? Instead of people
What?
looking this
No, what are you saying? The fan, a lot of the fans are turning on him or supporting him. What?
yeah, a lot of the fans that were supporting him, fam, were yesterday saying that they're giving him side eye now from yesterday's game. But I don't understand why yesterday's game would have started your side eye. Surely you expected a bad result from Newcastle in the current form that we've been having
And
after the
yeah,
you've been.
I mean, this is this. Again, I really don't care if people are manager in or manager out or whatever in it. Like everyone's got their own opinion on something. Not everyone should be listening just because someone said one thing doesn't mean that you should listen to that one person. Form your own opinion, yeah, on the situation. It's fine. Like you don't need anyone's validation and you don't need to require anyone's validation for your own point. That's is why I don't care. I'll say what I want to say. I couldn't care less if anyone agrees with me or supports it or whatever. I do not care. But again, like you said, we knew, I think most people knew that we were going to lose that game yesterday. Obviously, you'll have the people go in there with a positive attitude and stuff like that saying, nah, we can get a result, this and that. But a lot of people just go off with vibes in it because of the support. But when you've watched your team post Fergie for that long and the results are pretty much the same every single year up until now, you already know what's coming, innit? Like Newcastle, this is what I don't get. Newcastle, right? They were fighting relegation. They sacked Steve Bruce and they brought in my man. What's his name? What's his name? Who's at Newcastle now? I forgot his name. Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe. Right.
Wow.
Every season he's been there, he's improved the team. He took that team from relegation, and the players were improving. The players that are still there now, people like Joe Linton, people like Jacob Murphy, the scrubs of that team. Yeah. Fabian Shaw was a dead centre back.
Bro, Joe Linton was a joke. Do you remember?
Bro, he's able, yeah, to improve and coach some of them players that the Newcastle fans that themselves at the time wanted out. And Amorim, when he's coming here, has failed to do that. Like I've said it before, I've seen purple patches with about 3 players, and that is it. And this is why I'm frustrated with the guy because you're not improving anyone. If the performances aren't going to be there, at least get some results, yeah. But for me to back you, it's impossible now because I do not want the club to buy you any players because you need players, yeah, that are going to help you and your system that you're trying to implement. But if that fails next season, yeah, we're stuck with your players, just like we're stuck with Ten Hag players, like we're stuck with the previous managers because they wanted whatever they wanted for their system.
You know what?
I cannot give this man money, bro. I can't do it because we're going to be in the same position. People are talking about he's got till December, bro. People are willing to write off for another season. Why do we have to go to that stage again? Just make the decision at the end of the season. You've got 4 days left. The only thing that's saving your job is that Europa League.
Just say it, Pav.
Bro, if I say it, I need immunity. If you want me to say it, I need immunity. That because I said that you man can ban me off the channel if I say them 2 words. If I say them 2 words, that was the deal. And you know me, I won't say it. I'm not gonna.
Who cares?
Nah, bro, because people call for it. There'll be people call for it. Unless I've got certified immunity for me to exactly, so I can't say it. Not them 2 words. I can.
Well, listen then. Okay, Fair enough then. Yeah, you don't want to say them two words, but I see where you stand right now, Pav. Yeah, let's just be real. Yeah, you're definitely not in support of the manager. Let's just say that. If you're telling us that we should just move on by the end of the season and just, bring someone else in, therefore we know what you're saying. Yeah, even though you can't say those particular words in those order, it is what it is. You've kind of laid it out already. So in that respect, then, what do you want us to bring in? Do you want us to stick with this same kind of system thing? Because one thing I kind of fear is
Not
that
a free back with this guy. If
but
you're
hold on.
having, if you're
Thing. Do you think that the in your structure is just gonna? Because I don't think most of these players that have been coming in recently are just the managers ticking off. I think there's like a list. I
so
can't
this
even.
is the thing. This is the thing,
I
right?
don't believe the
People are telling me
buying these players on his own.
Ineos are buying the players for the club, not for the manager. But then why would you bring in a manager who can only stick to one system? And if these players aren't for that system, then what the hell's going on? Yeah, I've never liked the free back unless it's someone who's a proper specialist. Yeah, and that's them Italian managers. Yeah, I think Simeone done it for a fair while, but he's reverted back to the back four. Unless you've brought in one of them and they're getting the results for you, fair enough. I can sit with that. But this guy, you're not getting any results. The performances are dead. The players are dead. They're not improving. Purple patches. Yeah, you not get yourself knocked out that Europa League this Thursday. There's nothing there to save you. What are the fans go? Why would the fans go back to Old Trafford this season for what then? There's nothing left. There's nothing left, bro. And what we got? What we looking forward to next season? Absolutely nothing. With a thinner squad because of you.
Here's
And
the
not
thing.
just you, obviously Ten Hag as well.
It's not just because of him. Here's the thing, though. This is where I am starting to try to get people to understand that, yes, it's all right to criticize this guy, but please, you have to also criticize the up above. Because it's not just, all right, look, bro, it's not even just that we're getting these project players, yeah? They've also brought in a project manager. The last couple of managers have been project managers. They've not been the finished articles. They've not been proven. Do you know what I mean? They've been only proven in their league. They never won any Champions Leagues. They're not won any European Cups. So they're project managers, ones that we're going to hopefully invest in and they will get better on the job.
But bro, if it doesn't improve next season, people are already saying he's got till December. Why do we have to wait until December and then we sack him again? We've written off another season. Why not just make a decision in summer? You took out Ashworth after 5 months. Where was his chance, to do whatever in it?
Where was his chance?
And we already know people, bro. What team is it they own in France? Is it Lille? It's not Lille, is it? It's Nice.
Not Lille.
They own Nice. The Nice fans told us this man, Ineos, they're not afraid to constantly sack managers. They told us this.
The thing is, bro,
and if they're not afraid, you would see that the director of football is more important than any manager, because the director of football is the one who makes a lot of these decisions of how the football's supposed to be played out, what sort of players are supposed to come in. And they got rid of that guy. They should, after all that time, we begged for a DOF.
They didn't agree with him, bro. They didn't agree with him.
So if the manager's not getting the results, then why? What's the need of him being him? And if you're not getting the performances, because the performances ain't there, the results ain't there. You got a 30% win ratio in the Premier League, bro. In your time of being here, 30%, the worst of any manager ever. The club is about to finish in its worst position in its entire history. Yeah, since the Premier League started.
Look, hey, Pav, listen, thank you. You know what? Big up yourself. Please stick around. I ain't got much callers, to be fair, so this might just get back around to a group discussion, let's be honest. I'm going to go in order because I've only got like 3 or 4 callers here. Etc. How you doing, bro?
Hey, Joe. It's been a while. How have you been?
Been good, man. I know that the time difference is crazy for you, so I always appreciate when you pull up for a show, man. What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, it's not so much a time difference issue, Joe. It's more so I'm just sick of the team and I haven't been watching. I mean, I've been on the WhatsApp thread for a bit, but I haven't watched the last 3 games of United, and I have no interest in watching them.
So you didn't even see the capitulation yesterday that we faced, the embarrassment?
No, because I know this stuff is coming, Joe. I mean, it's very predictable.
Would you like to see how we capitulated and how bad it got? Because
I
we
would
got to
like to
go.
not ruin my day. Honestly, Joe, I'm telling you this. I've had such a much better time with, just enjoying life, going out. Just a few days ago, I went out with my mates, had a nice dinner. It was great, And I don't want this team to spend the next 3 months ruining my weekends anymore. I'm just sick of it.
I don't wish this heartbreak on anyone. So I'm glad you enjoyed your night, your evening, your day, whatever time it was when you was out. Because sometimes I know everybody across the world tune in at way different times than we do to have to watch Manchester United just destroy their evening. So you know what? I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
100%.
That being said, though, fam, let me ask you this: How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the Amorim situation right now? Because the people in the chat right now saying that you're a strong Amorim outer. Is that the case?
Oh yeah,
Or you
100%. Yeah. Have one say the words. I'll say it for him. I'll remember him out.
Say it then. Say it louder and say it prouder. Hold on, wait, not yet. One second.
Yeah.
Say it loud and say it proud.
I'm Amorim out, and I have been for a while.
Can you give us some reasons, please? Just main reason for you. The main reason why you're Amorim out.
So I'll be very consistent, Joe. When this guy got employed, right, and we started those poor run of games, I said, all I want from Amorim is one 90-minute performance. I don't care against who. One 90-minute performance. I'm not going to get that this season. And I've come to the realization pretty much, I think, the last game I watched, I think, was when it was the Nottingham Forest game, I think, where everyone started to go on Garnacho. And at that point, I kind of thought to myself, well, I'm waiting for this 90-minute performance that isn't going to happen, right? And I'm thinking, and I hear a lot of opinions from other people thinking, oh, you know what? He needs his players. Oh, let it get to December. He's going to get his players in, and then we'll see a much better football. All we really need is a goalkeeper, a striker, and we'll be on the way. But what I'm thinking here is Ineos, right, throughout their sporting history, right, have not shown any sign of success. Number one. Number two, United does not have a data structure ready to be able to recruit. And more importantly, let's say if we get 5 or 6 players, what's the chance all 5 or 6 players actually work out? And then on top of that, if out of those 5 players, let's say 3 of them work out, how many of them are going to be injured next season? Nobody knows. So at the end of the day, what you're going to end up having is about at least 2 or 3 functional players that change from this season to next season, right? And do you trust this manager to be able to get that much of a difference with just that few players? It's not going to happen.
Look. Let's just be fair here. We can't see the future. That's number one. Yeah, we don't know what will happen in the future. Yeah, so I think what really the question that I'm wanting you to answer is, do you think he deserves time? Because at the end of the day, it's not about what you think will happen, what players he will get, because we can't see that. Yeah, we already know what's happened. We've let a lot of players go, a lot of attacking options. He's running thin when it comes to the up front line. And now that we've got players injured like Xerxes and stuff like that, people are fearing the worst. But what I'm trying to say to you is, based on what you've seen thus far, because for me, here's the funny thing. I was one of the people who started this criticism train. I want the manager to have criticism because I felt like he was very much protected. The APA is out in full force right now. Yeah, the APA is here to stay. It looks like, right? Until he goes, the APA is here. Now, for now, I think he does deserve a little bit of protection in that respect because of Ineos, the same people that you was cussing that they've had no sporting triumphs, especially when it comes to football. I think you have to bring that into the equation because for me, he's been brought in at the wrong time. They've thinned out his squad even further so whilst he's been here. And then on top of that, they have not replaced anybody of any substantial quality, if you understand what I mean. Yes, we've brought in
Yeah.
some players that are young and upcoming, but we've got no proven. He's not been given one proven player. And when are they going to give him one proven player? That's what I'm waiting to see. He needs at least one proven player. And I don't care if it's a goal scorer, I don't care if it's a wing back, I don't care if it's an attacking midfielder, but you need someone that's already proven to fit into his system to say that at least he has no excuses about that player. You've got somebody that you needed and wanted. And I don't see that happening for him. And if it doesn't happen for him, who's to blame? Who's to blame?
So here's where I'm kind of going at this from Joe. So obviously that is a possible thing that might happen in the future. But one thing that really, I've started to think about is what is this manager's actual capability? So I started having a look at, so I think there was a time ago where I praised his substitutions. And then there was a stream after that where I said, I would like to take that back. I think this manager's getting lucky with the substitutions, right? And since that stream, I think I've been proven right. I don't like the starting lineups. I don't like the substitutions. And on top of that, the thing that really irked me and the thing that really kind of made me think otherwise about this manager is when he came out and said, I finally know how to use Casemiro. It's taken him this long to figure out how to use a player that's won so many Champions Leagues, a player that, in Ten Hag's first season, was probably one of our best players of the season. It's taken you this fucking long to figure out that he's actually someone we can use. Right?
Do you know what?
And those kind of things make me think, fundamentally as a manager, I don't think, even if he can become someone who has those capabilities, he doesn't have them right now. And that gives me even less faith that we should spend money on this guy. Because one, when we talk about does he deserve the season and to spend this money, I don't believe in deserving anything. You have to earn it, right? And he has not earned the ability to be spending 150 next season. The results are simply not good enough. Like, how can I back the performance of this manager having seen what I've seen thus far of this season? To the point where I refuse to watch any games anymore because I know what's going to happen, right? And people talk about, you know what, we're going to win the Europa League and all that, right? Do we deserve to win the Europa League? There's no way, based on the performances that I've seen this season, that we should be winning the Europa League.
I'm sorry, you can't say that we don't deserve to win the Europa League. If we get to the finals, then I'll say we deserve to win it, bro. That's what I'll say. If we get to the finals, then we deserve to win.
I mean, deserving to win all that is whatever. If you win it, you win it. But I don't think we're capable of winning it.
It's a competition. That's the question you should ask. If you think we're capable, but if we get there and we win it, bro, through hook or by crook, I'm taking it win. I'm taking the win 100%. And I'm running with it. Yeah. But 100%. Look, with that being said, you're saying that this guy, his players are not. He's not improved anybody. He's not doing the right system. You don't trust his system. You don't trust his players' selection. But if I'm being honest with you, bro, he hasn't got much players to select from. Yeah. And let's be honest, he needs to be picking the strongest team to be going into these games moving forward, right? So it's not like he can keep using all the youngsters and giving them breath, because then you can't pick them in the Europa League games anyway. So he kind of has to keep our players fresh.
But to be honest, Joe, he's also partly to blame for that as well, because he didn't need to send off Malacia. He didn't need to send off Anthony. That was his decision.
But once again, do you think these are all his decisions, though? Let's be real. Do you think the guy's going to say yes?
He must have a say in which players he's allowed to keep on.
Bro, they've got rid of Sancho, Rashford, and Anthony, and they only brought in Dogu as an attacking option-ish, because he's basically defensive, like attacking option-ish. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you think that was really his decision? Get rid of 3 attackers and give me 1 semi-attacker.
No, that probably wasn't, because in terms of incomings, I'm not too sure how much of an input he has, because of the model that this new ownership wants, in terms of they do the scouting and they recruit whoever. So I'm not sure about that, but I'm damn sure he had a say in which players leave, right? And all I'm saying is, even though to an extent, I understand why he let go of some players. Maybe he thinks he's not good; they're not good enough, right? And all that sort of thing.
Imagine
And I
this.
understand it.
If I say to you, fam, okay, you're the manager right now, and I go to you, listen, you're saying I need new players. This team ain't good enough, right? You've come into my office. These players ain't good enough. I need better players. Blah 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 blah. I've gone. All right, then listen. What players are you willing to let go because we need to sell to buy? That's the talk I'm giving you. We need to sell to buy, and you're like, okay, this one's crap, and this one's crap. You know, you've outlined them. Yeah, okay, good. You get rid of those. If you're willing for me to get rid of those players for you, then we should rack up some money to bring in someone for you. Yeah, and he was like, all right then. So we've done it, and then I give you Dorgu. Now, whose fault is that? Is that the manager's?
I mean, you can't say the manager doesn't have the blame as well. I mean, he has some responsibility, but it's not entirely his fault.
Imagine that, bro. Look, so they just imagine that though, fam. There's probably 3 or 4 players on that list because who was we talking about at the time? We was talking about the left back. What's the one?
I don't think we were talking about many, to be honest, Joe.
We was talking about Alphonso Davies. Yeah, we was talking about Mendy from PSG, right? And then we was talking, and then in the end, we ended up getting Patrick Dorgu. And then we bought that other kid that's supposed to be coming next season. Yeah?
It does seem more like summer signings, though. I don't think they were options to get this early.
But think about what they've done. They got rid of those players, and then what? But anyway, do you know what? I said, Joe, big up yourself, fam. I need to get some other people in. We have been talking.
All good, man. I've taken too much time anyway.
All right, big up yourself. I stay there though. Like I said, it might just turn into a group discussion because, like I said, I don't have many callers, but obviously I'm having a good conversation with everybody. So, Uncle, welcome to the show. How you doing?
We are good. We are good. This is the morning after the night before.
How are you feeling? Because you know what, for one, I'm still shocked that a lot of people are so on the manager for that match. I just didn't expect it for that match. Is it just the manner that we lost in, or I don't know?
I think there is a thing of Manchester United fans having very short memories span. You know, we after the Thursday match, we said, please, manager, rotate your squad. Europa League is priority. We want you to rotate and rest players for the Europa League. And then he rotated and rested players. And then the ones that he brought in didn't perform. And then we are complaining. And my question is, did you people want the managers to play the main players? And maybe more of them got injured the way Zexi got injured. And then we don't have a strong squad going into the Europa League. Is that what you people wanted? Because clearly we said Europa was our preference. So what is this thing of why did he play Ericsson against Newcastle? Who was this going to play? Is it Menu that is just coming back from injury that might likely get injured again?
We want to save, by the way. We want to keep saving.
Is it Casemiro that we can't play back to back, so we are trying to save him for the Europa League? Who exactly were we going to play in the midfield? Even Bruno Fernandes got substituted at some point. Bruno Fernandes never gets substituted. So what exactly did we want? And then when you talk about the manner of the loss, 2, if not 3, 2 goals were clearly individual errors that the manager could do nothing about. The manager did not tell Mazraoui to sleep where he slept, where he slept and gave them the goal. The manager did not tell the goalkeeper to kick the ball directly to a Newcastle player. So, if those 2 errors did not happen, that were completely beyond the manager's control, and it was a 2-1 loss, we wouldn't be talking like this. We would have been saying we didn't expect a win. It was supposed to be 2-1, and it ended 2-1. We are not better than Newcastle anyways. But then 2 individuals made errors that the manager could not control, and suddenly everything is down a mess. I'm not saying we shouldn't complain that we lost. Obviously, I'm not happy that we lost. I would have loved to win, but I'm saying there's a difference between yes, we lost the game and a complete head loss in a game that we were expecting to lose. Nobody is happy. I'm not happy that we lost. There's no guarantee that resting the players will serve us well on Thursday. But he had to do it. You
Mhm.
understand? He had to
I
do
get
it.
it.
Look
Yeah.
at Lazio. Lazio was the strongest. In fact, up until this quarterfinals, they were the strongest side in the Europa League. And then what did the manager do? Oh, we have a derby against Roma over the weekend. Bodo Glimt are not too strong. Let me rest my players for the Roma match. They put a substandard squad and they lost to Bodo Glimt because he was prioritizing the weekend derby over Roma against last to that. Even though they were the strongest side in the Europa League and they had a better chance of qualifying for the Champions League by winning the Europa, they prioritized it. So
Let me
let
ask
us
you,
know. Hmm.
no, because on that subject of resting players, right? Do you think the manager will cop out and say that he was only resting Onana and start playing him again?
No, I don't. Well, the Onana conversation, I think we just have to wait until Thursday. I don't think he will cop out. We all see the obvious thing. He's not going to come out and say Onana has been bad, so I arrested him. Understand? Then he will come out and give some extenuating circumstances why as to why he arrested Onana. We can only wait till Thursday and see what happens.
Do you think Onana plays on Thursday? That's what I'm curious to
I
see.
don't I don't think I don't think he plays on Thursday.
If he plays on Thursday, though, don't you think that would be criminal? If he plays
Oh
on
yes.
Thursday,
Oh
that'd be
yes, if he
criminal.
plays on Thursday. I will question the
Because the
manager.
amount of mistakes he's made, because the amount of mistakes he's made compared to obviously Bayern there made a mistake. I get it, yeah, but he's been rusty. He ain't been playing games. Onana has no excuse, and you played him
Yeah.
game after game. So if he
And
doesn't get, mm,
I don't think Bayender's distribution was that bad. Well, obviously he made the one that caused the goal, but leading up to that, his distribution was not that bad.
it was
In this
decent.
game,
It's not great, but it's
yeah.
decent. You know what I mean?
But it's nothing better than what Onana. It's nothing worse than what Onana has been doing so far in terms of distribution. And
I
his
agree.
long ball distribution actually got to players. A lot of his long balls in that match actually got to our players. That is something Onana has been struggling to do. So I hope he starts by there in the Europa League match on Thursday. And
It's
then regarding these
yeah, go on.
signings that we are talking about, the signings for the project and all this and all that. You see, when the club says they want to sign players 25 and below, I don't know why we still have the mentality that the player that is 25 and below is inexperienced or is a project player. That's not true. Mazraoui and Delict were not project players. They were very experienced players. Gyökeres that we are trying to sign, he's just turning 26. Do you understand? Clubs
You're
are
getting
buying players.
the
Yeah,
age, the weight, and everything has to match. But you see, the thing is, once they're a certain age and they're that good, then the wage won't match. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is the reason why I
yeah,
keep
but we
saying.
don't know that.
But uncle, if you listen to the formula, it equals to a project player every time. Delap right now, yeah. Now that Chelsea are hot on his tails, apparently, yeah. What's that going to be? What's the only thing that we
But
have
you,
a
but
foot in
you
the
see,
like a
you
Chelsea
see,
Chelsea structure? He doesn't. He's not going to get as much as he came to Man United. Apparently,
you see the problem with us as fans, and this came back to the last summer window. We are so used to only transfer rumors that when we don't hear anything about signings, we just go off the only thing we hear. The fact that we're only hearing Delap does not mean the club is only linked to Delap. There are scouts, and you cannot know until the summer. It's just when we don't hear anything, we just assume it's all bad news and we start being pessimistic. If Ineos, that did not fully back Ten Hag, could get him 5 to 6 players in a summer where they sacked him months later, What do you think they will do to their own man? Why do we believe that Ineos will back Ten Hag that they don't trust more than their own person that they brought in? We've had a summer window under Ten Hag, and they brought in players for him. So why do we believe that Ineos would back a manager they don't trust, and then they bring in a manager that they trust, and then they don't back him?
Because you know what, Uncle, maybe not even that they don't plan on backing him, but maybe they're just trying to find players that just fit the system rather than fitting him. Because why? Okay, look, I'm not
But is he
gonna
not his system? He is his system.
look, Uncle, look, my biggest criticism of why I feel like he's getting kind of a raw deal, yeah, is because of what I just said in the previous call, etc. Right? They got rid of 3 attackers. 3 attackers, Uncle. And who did they bring in? Come on. That's a bit stinky of them, isn't it? In the season where
True.
he said in the season of when he's also said himself that he needs results to get time. That's what they give him. And that's why I'm not trying to go too heavy on him at the moment, because I feel like they've given him a raw deal. They've given him a raw deal. And he's gonna face the pressure of the raw deal that they've given him.
Yeah, but when you're saying he needs signings to get time, we are looking at it from the fan perspective. I don't think Ineos is knocking on his door and telling
he
him.
said he needs wins to get time. That's what he said. But I'm saying that they got rid of people that were basically at least options, and now people are getting injured left, right, and center. The man's we're running thin. We're running thin now. Injuries was always inevitable.
Absolutely.
It's inevitable
Absolutely.
that we're going to get injuries. Yeah. So leaving
Absolutely.
the squad was a mistake.
Oh yes, it was. I'm not even here trying to defend them. I wish they had brought in more players during the January signing, just so that we have outlets in the attack. Right? Very true. But you see the way Garnacho has been frustrating us. Rashford was already frustrating us. The only thing that would have happened by now is we would just have more players to complain about. Get Rashford out of this squad. Get Anthony out of this squad. Because we were doing it anyways before Amorim came in. So what is the guarantee that by now, the way we are complaining about Garnacho, we won't be complaining about Rashford and about Anthony? True. I'm not, like I said, I'm not defending. I wanted those players to go, but I wish they had brought in more people instead of only Dogo, for us to have more options. So that is a mistake from their side. But I think we have to wait till the summer to actually see how they back the manager. I think it's very easy to be very pessimistic about it. But let us actually wait till the summer. And then for the one last thing, the people that say, because people talk out of both sides of their mouths, they will come and they'll say, why would you give the manager his players? What if he doesn't perform with his players? And then in the next call, they will say the manager is not in charge of the signings, that is Ineos, and he's just a coach. But then in the other side, they'll say it's his signings. So I'm like, is it his signings or is it Ineos' signings? I have said from the beginning that there's an in between. The manager says his style of play. He says the player he would prefer. But then Ineos will go and do their research, and they will either agree or they will say, "We know you like this player, but this option, this circumstance will not let us sign." Well, we don't know, but it's possible. It's possible, right?
Exactly what I'm thinking.
It's possible, but I'm sure they will not leave him without options. The only thing they will say is your option 1 is not available, but these are the options we found based on what we are looking at. So you decide which of these players we should pursue, and then we'll go and pursue. But it's not.
Uncle, 1 second, because it's not just that, these are also the players that are within our budget. That's also what's going to be said to him. Look, fam, I know you like this profile of player. Yeah, you want a guy that's like what was the players that we were saying? Mendes, Kirkes. You want a Gutierrez, yeah? You want these kind of players, yeah? But you know what? They're kind of outside of our budget right now. But how about a Dorgu? Because that's the best of what.
So, do you want the club to spend? Do you want the club to spend outside the budget? That is the question. Do you want the club to spend outside the budget?
Yes, I do.
But they can't spend outside the budget. That is the problem with Will fans. The club cannot spend outside the budget.
You asked me a question, I answered it.
But
If
they
it's possible,
cannot.
I don't know. But they anyway, let me know. But anyway, Uncle, big up yourself. Thank you. But last thing, actually, before I go, because you was talking about the what ifs and you don't want to talk about the what ifs in the future and blah 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 blah. You see, in the right here and now, yeah, because you know you won the football analytics awards of this channel, whatever it was called, yeah. I need to ask you this question. In the here right now, out of these group of players that he currently has in his squad, because it seems to me that Amorim, if a player don't work for him, he just, we just get rid. Bam, there we go, get rid. You leave, you leave, you leave. Is there no possible way that he can improve some of the players that he has? As a coach supposed to improve some of the players on his team? Surely not every single player on this team can just be trash and not being able to implement a system. Because I can see some players are able to implement his system or they're getting better at it. But do you think he's actually improved any players since he's been here?
So let me tell you what I see in the simplest terms.
Last question, by the way.
I see a team that has improved in certain areas of the field, and I see a team that needs improvement in certain areas. I don't believe we need any special defensive signings. I think in defense, if we come into this season and maybe we keep a Kobe Meno, right? I think in defense and in midfield, I would love to make signings, but if we don't necessarily make signings in defense and in midfield, I don't think we're in a bad position. I think if we get the attacking players, you people will begin to appreciate what some of us are actually seeing. The problem is not that we are unable to move the ball to a certain level of the field. The problem is when we move the ball to that level, there is nobody to progress it with the moment we move into the attack. And that's why we are beginning to have high ball possession, but there's no penetration because the attacking players to make that transition are not there. So I believe if we buy the 10s, we buy the right wing back, buy the striker, I don't necessarily think we need that much change. And obviously the goalkeeper. But in the defense and in the midfield, at least for now, short term, I don't necessarily think we need to make changes there. That's my point.
All right, pick up yourself, Uncle. Fair enough. Well, look, I'm gonna ask this question of all the football scholars that come in there today, actually, because I want to know what they see in terms of improvement. Players, though, they don't actually answer my question now that I think about it. Has he improved any players? And I asked him. He's got a way of chatting in circles that you miss it sometimes. But did he actually answer my goddamn question? Anyway, you gotta run that one back in a second. Mr. Adjacent. Your microphone's on mute. I don't know if you can hear me. But Mr. Adjacent, you're on the show. Are you there, blood? I don't think he's there, blood. All right. I'll call you back in a minute, fam. Yo, Abs, you are here.
Good, sir. I think everyone's woken up.
Sir.
I think everyone's woken up with hatred today morning, which is very interesting.
Why?
Also, you need to be careful, like how you start the show, because that sets the precedence for the rest of it. You put Pav, you put etc. straight away. Two negative people. Now everyone is on that negative mindset all the way through. Your questions is on a negative mindset all the way through. So, like your
question's been negative.
Yeah. There's no positivity in this show today, bruv. It's Monday. Sorry, it is Monday. It's Monday. Everyone's gone back to work. Maybe that's what it is.
And yesterday was kind of negative. Let's be honest.
I look, there's a negative and I'm not
around right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, I look outside. It's sunny. Why am I getting angry? Life is there to be lived. Did anyone after Thursday who asked for a rotation really thought we're going to beat probably the most informed team in the Premier League right now? So what the hell are you worried about?
That's what I said. That's what I said, though. That's one thing I have been like a little confused about where the Amorim hate came from yesterday, though. That's what I was.
Let me ask you another question. Did everyone think that Bayern there was going to have a perfect game just because he's come in?
Thank you.
Cool. So then I ask another question. Does Maserati make that mistake every game? Or does he rarely make mistakes? So what are you angry about again?
Thank you.
when
Thank
everything was rotated, did you expect Eriksen to dominate that midfield? That same midfield that dominated Liverpool in the cup final? What are you angry about? The only thing I'm angry about when it came to Eriksen is that he didn't chop that man down for the third goal. That's the only thing I'm angry about.
Yes.
Everything else expected. So then, did you guys expect Højlund to come on the pitch and score a goal? Oh Lord! What are you angry about? So what are you angry about?
Bro,
Right?
you know what?
Then,
Where I see
listen,
it.
I'm getting told, yeah, Eddie Howe now. Eddie Howe, yeah. All right, let's go through his history, all right? So 2021, 20 to 2021. He might not have been the manager, so I might be a bit late here. Newcastle finished 12th, right? 21-22, they finished 11th. 22-23, they shocked everyone and finished 4th. 23-24, guess where they dropped down to? 7th. And now they're in 4th again. If our team yo-yoed like that, and bearing in mind, Newcastle fans in 3 of those seasons wanted him out. The same fans, just like our fans, want everyone out. Newcastle wanted him out. Usually during the season. He's only just won them their first trophy 70 years. That's what we're now comparing ourselves to.
To be fair, in the last couple of seasons, we've been collecting more trophies than him just yo-yoing in that.
That's what we're comparing ourselves to. Our line is down. Then we'd have to work our way to get back up. But you would not want to like yo-yoing from 11th to 7th to top 4, back to 7th, then maybe top 4 at the end of the season. If we yo-yoed like that, everyone will lose their mind. Same manager, he's out. He's out immediately.
So, man, them are not on this.
Jump around the front of the black
Man, them are not on it.
I guess not. And let's go through their signings. Let's go through their signings because I have time today, right? Their first window with Eddie Howe, the only signing that worked out was Bruno Guerrero, wherever his name is. Because Joe Wheeler sits on the bench. Dan Burn wasn't liked at that first season either. Kieran Trippier is injury pro. So the only one that you got out and out was the best.
Kieran Trippier's worked out. You can't say he's not worked out. He still plays a lot of games, bro. He's important to them. He's important. All right,
fine. You could put it through because he is a leader. You could put him through, right? But Chris Woodis doesn't play for them anymore, so that clearly didn't work out. Joe Willock sits on the bench 90% of the time, so that clearly didn't work out, right? But again, they got at least, let's say they got 2 good signings out of that window.
Yes.
So our window this summer, we got Delap and Mazzarari. Are they not good signings?
100%. I agree.
All right. Okay, that's interesting. Cool.
10 signings.
Yeah. Right. Listen, I don't mind. Yeah. So let's go to the next year. Oh, this thing's loading up slow. Ruining my vibe, man. Don't load up slow.
You got to see. Just keep talking.
Imagine this. Look at the 2 players I'm going to mention in the next year. The next season they got Ishak and Anthony Gordon. Have we ever got a striker of that level? Have we ever got a striker of that level?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, bruv. I'm not talking Ferguson type. What you mean when he came back for Ten Hag?
He came back.
And stayed for Ten Hag.
He came back. He scored goals. He was important to us. We needed him.
Bruv, we booted him out and every fan cheered.
Listen, not every fan cheered. It was you know what? Anyway, we're not going to get into how he left, but we had him in the increment.
Hey, let's go to the 3rd transfer window. No. Hold on, Joe. Let's go to the 3rd transfer window. Tonani, Harvey Barnes, and Livramento. Did all 3 work out?
No.
So how successful are these guys' transfer window season after season? By the way, they're still yo-yoing on the table, but season after season, they are having very, very, very good transfer windows. Is that Amorim's fault?
What do you mean that they're having good transfer windows? that they're having good
Newcastle having good transfer windows for the last 4 seasons. I'm saying Man United have not had a great transfer window like that consistently, and Amorim hasn't even. Amorim had January transfer window to sign Dogu. There's always context for when there's a team that's improving like Newcastle did. No, but what I'm saying is when a team is improving like Newcastle did, there's other factors affecting the improvement. Look at the transfer windows I've just mentioned. That's what 3 successful transfer windows.
I hope this manager
now was
3 transfer windows. Fam, do you think this manager will see 3 transfer windows? If he gets a basic transfer window where only 2 signings work out, like you said, out of maybe he gets 4 signings, yeah, and only 2 of them are good, because you know laws of average works that like 50% is going to be good, yeah. So let's say the laws of average works out that we got 2 good players out of that. Do you think that will be enough to secure us any kind of position in the league next season for him to be safe?
But this is what I'm saying, Joe. They've been having great transfer windows and they've still been yo-yoing in their results. And the fans have still wanted the manager out. And so now, after the 5th season, this is the guy we're using as an example to a man that's only been here since what, October?
I don't know who was making that. Who was comparing them to anyway? I don't know who was
said that. There's been constant improvement at Newcastle. No, they haven't. They've been yo-yoing. They've been going up and down in different positions. The manager wanted to be on this show. The fans wanted to put out the manager 3 different times. Yet he's had successful transfer windows and yo-yoing, and that's the guy we're now using as an example to a man that has only had 1 window, which you can tell he didn't have a say in, and he's only been here for what, couple of months.
If you're gonna say,
annoys me, right? Every time we compare Amorim to someone, it's always someone that's been in the job for 5 years.
Well, this is what I was about to say, bro. Anytime that you compare him, then you're going to have to give him that length of time that you're comparing someone to, because they've had time and opportunity. Do you understand what I'm saying? Any person that you compare him to, the argument and the pushback will always be, well, look at the time they've been there compared to him, blah, 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 blah. But the only way to make it fair is to look at each person's first season, I guess. That's the only way to look at it. Yeah? Because
I finished 11th. Then anyhow finished 11th.
Bro, for me, look, I'm not on this whole get manager out right now. Yeah, criticism should be had. Yes, I've had criticisms of him, but I'm not trying to say manager out. I'm not even trying to hint it. Yeah, I just do feel like there's been times that I think he could have done things differently in order to help him secure wins. But people are saying, you know, stick with the thing, don't change nothing, implement your system, blah blah blah, and that's fair enough. And I can concede.
We asked for a system manager. We asked for a system manager,
bro. I can concede if I'm wrong on a certain situation and it works out, but I never asked for. You said you asked for a consistent manager. I asked for a manager that could adapt. I never said that. Remember, let's not pretend like I was like manager out adamantly from the very beginning with the last manager. Yeah. So it took a lot for me to get to manager out. And with this situation that I have right now, I don't see enough adaptation in him. Sometimes that makes me think that he's going to be right for the Premier League. But you know what, if he turns it around, I'm happy for that. That's what I want to see, because I don't want some of these criminal players to win again.
All I'm going to say is all I want to say is even with the right players, Conte got stick for playing 3-4-3. Even with the right players, he got stick for it for the first 3 months. He ended up going to win the league. Why are we always so negative and want to argue and want to get someone out of the club? And then when you ask the same people, etc., okay, who's your next man? I hear Inzaghi.
It's Pav. No,
I've heard Inzaghi. I think
I never said bringing Inzaghi. I said if they were adamant, in having someone who specializes in the free back, you'd get the best manager out there, who'd be Inzaghi or a Simeone. Someone who knows how to set up properly. That's what I said. I said if that's what they wanted to go with, why did they go for Ruben and not Inzaghi then, or someone like that?
Ruben is also a specialist at 3-4. And Simone doesn't do 3-3 at the back. He's always doing
No, he's done it. He's done it previously. But lately he's gone back to back 4.
Jesus Christ! Right, sorry, I just seen the. But then even if we pick Inzaghi, right? Before Ita started playing a little bit more attacking now, Inzaghi was a full-on defensive manager. We're taking it all the way back to Jose Mourinho type football. This same fan base didn't like that then either. They're going to complain. There's a comment that was put up earlier. We asked the manager to rotate. He rotates, we're angry.
I had no issues with him rotating. Like I said, I already predicted the loss for this game, so this isn't anything to do with what happened yesterday. You already know this from me. I just think it hasn't been good enough. He's brought in his own coaches, backroom staff, right? But I fail to see a consistent improvement for any player. It's been purple patches. You've got rid of Rashford. You've got rid of Anthony. Yeah, the two supposedly bad digs that were bringing his team down a little bit from what the reports were anyway. They're gone. But the quality of football is still the same. The results are still the same. What else is going on?
Football still the same?
Guys, just to let you know, 1 second. There's a poll in the chat that I want everybody to go and check out right now. Please go and get your votes in as soon as possible. Let's try and get to at least 100 votes. It'd be nice to see what your opinion is on this one.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
guys.
And the other thing I was going to ask you.
Yeah, go on. Did he just go on mute?
No, what's that poll, man?
You just noticed the poll.
I've just seen it.
He stopped in his tracks. Okay.
I even voted, didn't it? I voted, didn't it? Of course, I voted the second one, innit? Because that's what it is. I can't say it yet, innit? Not allowed.
At least it's been revealed. It's been revealed.
But this is the thing. I wanted to ask Abs. You come in straight away and said to Joe, how you start the show. I can't remember what the word that you use is. How you
start with
so
negative.
you're saying that we've come in negative, right? But it's not being negative. It's what the season has been. What am I going to say that's positive? That's going to help the show.
Well, I don't understand, Pipe, right?
What am I going to say that's positive? Tell me. Name me 5 things that have been positive this season for me to come on this show and start it positively so everyone else can be fucking sheep and do what has talk the way I'm going to talk positively.
So,
tell me.
Pipe,
Name me 5 things.
Let's be real. You haven't been positive in 3 seasons. Probably more.
Actually, I was positive in Ten Hag's first season. I was actually positive in Ten Hag's first season. I didn't have any complaints until it got to the last 2 months of the season in that first one.
Don't know about that. But anyway, so for me,
now you can go back and look at it.
I'm going to answer this, yeah. There is no need for me. I did my negative talk yesterday where I was just I was in shock, but I wasn't angry. So I'm starting this week and I'm like, why am I still on the angry term when I sit down and think about it, we got what we asked for and we know the players that were coming on, they're not good enough to start in this terrible team at the moment. So what do you expect when they come on to start? You expected them to what? Manage to get better? Did I expect the goalkeeper not to make a mistake? I knew he was going to make a mistake. It was written in the stars he was going to make a mistake because he make a mistake when he's fully fit. He comes back half fit. First game back after month. Did I expect him to make a mistake? Hell yes. Did I expect Eriksen to be run over? Hell yes. So why am I coming to express more anger? I knew I had it yesterday. I released it yesterday. What I'm now looking forward to, right, is...
But that's the thing. I've not come in that angry at any point regarding anything that happened yesterday. I was just stating facts about what's going on this season. Like there is no, I'm not angry about anything. Maybe my tone of voice comes out angry, but that's Punjabis, bro. We sound angry all the time.
Can I interject?
Can I ask a question?
Can I just interject at this time?
Just one second. Mr. Adjacent first, because he's been waiting here for a long time. Then Josh and Mr. Amorim.
Yo, sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you clearly, man.
Okay. Big up, guys. What's going on? All right. So me, I have a question to Joe, to the panel. I like to give scenarios, quick scenario, right? Who's the better chef, right? Just the A or B, chef A, chef B. Chef A, you give chef A tuna, you give the guy Mr. Noodles, and you give him ketchup. And you say, yo, make me a meal. Best tuna pie life.
What the fuck is this analogy, bro?
That
I
means
know exactly what he's talking. I know exactly where he's going with it. You might, hey, you know what, Mr. J, you might as well just do it real. Do it real. Don't do this tonight. Just do it real. I don't know where you're going.
And talk about the
do it.
players
Yeah,
and
just
all
do
that.
it real.
I know where you're going. I don't know if everyone else does. I know exactly where you're going.
Go on, let's go. Let's see if we can get there quickly. Let's do the real thing. F the analogy. Who's the better manager? Go on.
We've lost him, haven't we?
You think we have?
Nothing.
Jason, are you Jason with us right now?
He's parallel.
Screw it. Let me finish his analogy for you guys. Yeah.
He's unparalleled.
If you come back, let us know. Put your hand up in the chat if you come back, bro, so I can bring you back in. But yeah,
Let me finish his analogy. Yeah. Chef 1 has tuna, pasta, ketchup. Chef 2 has steak. What else do you normally have with steak? Chicken, prawns, some veg. Who's the better chef?
Yeah.
I know exactly what he's talking about because Ten Hag is the one that had all the money.
You get what you're trying to say. So basically, the guy who's
Amorim's got
getting
nothing.
served all the and Amorim's
But
just
doesn't
been given-
Amorim have to show something in order for him to get this money? Like, what have you shown? Tell me. You've got rid of two. You got rid of. You got. Let's say he's got rid of 2 ingredients. Yeah, that were off. Right. He's got rid of 2 ingredients. Right. That are off. But still, the dish that he's trying to create is still shit.
Do you know why that's unfair?
Yeah,
That's unfair though, man.
Sorry, so hold on.
Wait a second. Let me add to your little analogy there, because the thing with this food thing is, bro, it's kind of a different analogy to what is going on, because the food that you're talking about, is the same food that he had last year. It's the same food that was on that plate, bro. The same money. You see, bro, leftovers may be leftovers, but guess what? It's actually the same ingredients that he had to make that food, and that you said is now meat and potatoes there. Yeah, it's the same meat and potatoes next season, fam. It's the same meat and potatoes. So why is the dish such a poor quality now? Then answer that blood clot question.
The dish might have been poor quality from the beginning.
It's expired.
But let's
again.
Let me go back to my point then. Yeah, without using. Let me go back to my original point where instead of using the food analogies, why isn't he improving any of these players then? Because it's the same performances I've been seeing with a lot of these players. Like, where's the improvement then? You brought in your coaches, right? You should be getting some improvement out of this squad. Yeah, the team should be playing better. The amount of months that you've been there. There should be some big improvements, but they're not.
I don't think there should be big improvements because they were brought in under a different manager to play.
Doesn't matter. Other managers come in elsewhere and they get improvements out of their squad. They get if they're not getting the quality of football that they're expecting, brother. You need to get the results. Some results at least. 30%, 30% is abysmal, bro.
I
can answer that very simply. If you guys, we seem to have short memory because we were cussing out the same players under Ten Hag.
That's what I'm saying.
The same players. These players are expired.
Yeah,
are expired. Right? Casemiro, we wanted him out.
And would you have the same energy? Would you have the same energy if it was Southgate in charge? You wouldn't. You lot, I'm telling you now, the pitchforks would be raised high, bro, for Southgate.
No, but the thing is,
what does Southgate? What is Southgate's record as a coach?
Yeah, what's his
What is Southgate's record? What are his credentials? You don't just mention Southgate. The credentials of the manager also matters.
Amorim was at
Amorim's credentials are basically in Portugal then. So is that enough for Man United?
No,
is that enough for Man United?
He had a good record in the Champions League this season.
But you should also...
Hold on, Uncle, wait. Joel, speak first, please. Joel, then...
Basically, what I was trying to say, Prav, to the improvement point, this is a different type of improvement. I feel that Amorim's come in and he's trying to show players a different way to play football, right? When these guys were playing football, it was more or less transitional. Now he's trying to get them to hold on to the ball and break teams down that are in the lower block.
Why did you go your foot?
I don't know where he's going.
Right, sorry. Some parts have been skipped already. Pav, you just said, what's this manager done to prove that he deserves money? What did Ten Hag do? It's unfair to say that he needs... Hold on. It's unfair to say he needs to prove himself when we hire a manager in summer, we give him a checkbook. He hasn't proven himself. He hasn't done nothing. We just give him a checkbook. Amorim is the only manager that now everyone's saying, no, what has he done to improve it? Or prove himself? Jose
in the first season of Ten Hag, did he not come third?
Let me finish. Jose didn't have to prove himself. Ole did. Did Ole? Ole maybe.
Jose's an elite manager.
Wait.
Van Gaal didn't have to prove
What Abs is saying is right, but then
no manager has come to this team and had to prove themselves to get a.
No, you're right. No, you're right. But then, if Ineos believes in this guy so much, why has he only got a 2-year deal? Why did they not offer him a 3 or 4 minimum? Why only a 2? Because it works out better for them that if they're not seeing any improvement, it's not going to cost them much to get rid of the guy.
100%.
That's exactly what they've done.
Business on Ineos, no? Why are we moaning about?
So if they believe in this guy so much, yeah, you would have given him minimum 3 to 4 years, yeah, because he's not going to.
Wait, hold on.
In 2 years, what can you do in 2 years?
What you're saying?
Contracts are there to be
You
negotiated.
want them to give him a long contract after they did a contract extension to Ten Hag and then sacked him afterwards.
But then why bring in this guy then? For what reason would we give him? What was the point?
You need to be real.
Hold on, Pav. So here's the thing. I get your point, right? But at the end of the day, business is business. It's better to give somebody a short-term contract and extend it later than to give somebody a long-term contract and then you have to terminate and pay the person off. That somebody has a fantastic TV does not necessarily mean there's guaranteed success when the person walks into a new environment. Now, I think what most of you fail to acknowledge is you say this thing about he has done it only in Portugal. But you need to understand where Sporting was when Amorim came in. If you go back and look at it, Sporting was in chaos. In fact, at the time the season Amorim came in, Sporting the situation of Sporting was so bad that players were fighting during the training. And at the end of that particular season, players legitimately walked out because the FA said because of how bad Sporting situations were, any player who wanted to leave could leave for free, regardless of how much contract you signed. You could walk away for free, and so many players walked away from Sporting for free, the club could do nothing about it because of how bad the situation was in Sporting when Amorim came in. And Amorim held the club and took them from that chaos of having played. Then they didn't get any money for the players that left. And he got them from that chaos to where they were. So this thing that Man United is going through, it may be a different country. But Amorim has seen something similar when he came into Sporting. Have that at the back of your mind. And it did not take one season for him to transform Sporting from a broken club to the club that we knew it as. Joe, I think you're muted.
How much season did it take him, Uncle? How much season did it actually take him?
At least 2 seasons before he got them to a stable place, and by the 3rd season he was down competing.
So, Uncle, let me ask you then: if next season's the same, are you still saying that you're giving him a 3rd season? If next season is the same,
I don't think next season is going to be the same because unlike
that's
you,
not the question
I actually see improvement.
It's not the question I asked you. I said, if it's still the same next year, what are you saying then?
Oh yeah, if by the end of next year, I'm not seeing what I'm expecting to see. I don't see any reason why his contract should be extended. Obviously,
so we're all happy to just waste 2 years, yeah? Is that what you're saying?
But it's not a waste.
It is, because then we've now waited another year to get rid of a guy that we should have got rid of in the summer.
Ask this question now because I hate when people do this previously. What manager do you want, Pav?
Brother, I don't care. It's not down to me what manager, bro. I've heard this from you lot for a whole fucking year. What manager? What manager?
Right? You say that this manager is not good enough. The last manager is not good enough.
I will take as many managers as it takes until it goes.
But that is not how building works, Pav.
I don't care how many managers it takes.
Building works.
I do not care how many managers it takes. I've said this before.
Order. Thank you very much. I have to mute you, man. Jesus. All right, guys, look. Seriously, it really doesn't really matter how much manager it takes or which manager, but I do kind of understand. I understand where Abs is coming from in terms of, well, who do you want then? Because as he see it, blah 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 blah. But last season, people asking people that question as well. Yeah, the Ten Hag situation. Who do you want then? Who do you want then? Who do you want then? And you know what?
Yeah, but the thing is,
I'm gonna say one thing before you take the floor, please. Yeah. The next time someone asks me that question about who do you want, then the next time I say manager out, yeah, because I'm not there yet. My simple answer is this: bring me someone who knows how to win things already, and I want someone who's won the Champions League. Yeah, bring me that level of experience.
there's a flaw with that because most of the managers are dying out. There's a new crop of managers now. We have to accept that as well. That's another thing. So we have to accept.
And which of the managers won the Champions League that are good to that are available to come to Man United?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying those managers. There's a few a dozen, isn't it?
When people were asking for Hansi Flick, we had people coming on there telling us what's his credentials, what's he ever won. Yeah, that's so. What's the point in saying what manager, bro? Because that's the sort of shit you have to hear anyway.
Because when I was there and I mentioned Hansi Flick back then.
Yeah. When people ask me what manager is, I put a list of managers, and yes, some people are dumb enough to ask me what credentials do they have, right? But that just proves the point. All of us, majority of us fans, are clueless when we say this: sack him. Do you know if we sack Amorim, the most likely person we're going to hire is Gareth fucking Southgate?
No, I'm not. This has been. I'm just gonna say this now. This has been the problem from the beginning. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this goes back to Ineos because the planning was poor from the summer. They could have got Amorim from the beginning.
Ineos have failed in almost every sporting venture they've done.
Liverpool had an open goal.
I'm just gonna.
Liverpool had an open goal at Amorim.
Yeah, go on, wrap up. Finish your point, please. Sorry, no one interrupted.
Liverpool had an open goal at Amorim and they clocked. Nah, this manager ain't for us. Boom, that's it. Chose Arne Slot. Ineos were just panicking and thought, stick to Ten Hag, and then they've jumped onto Amorim and they just set him up. Is what it is, but I just need to see more. I need to see more because I'm not convinced at the moment. I just need to see a bit more because it's not enough. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing, right? So, can I just let me just say one last thing as well, because a lot of people are saying, you know, like in Amorim we trust. This just come up right now, yeah, and this and blah 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 blah. But if you guys weren't confident that Ten Hag was a good manager when he won multiple leagues of his league, and you know you're saying that this manager turned this team around. I mean, he turned Sporting around, and he won, you know, some cups in his league. Why is he any better than the last manager? And why do you have such belief in this system now that it's going to work when he's really a project manager? And that's what I don't understand. He's a project manager. We don't really know.
But who is not a project manager, Joe? Because you've said project manager so many times in this show. What team does not have a project manager now?
What team does that? Well, okay.
It's an Slot, not a project manager. And Slot in Liverpool. Is he not a project manager?
He's
Chelsea's manager, not a project manager. Yes. Is Vincent Company not a project manager?
Do we hold on, Uncle? I understand what you're about to do, yeah, and I do understand that, like, someone said it already that basically managerial positions are in a change right now because you know some of the old managers are dying out. Yeah, Champions League success. Wrap up said it, I do believe. Yeah. Now I understand that, Uncle. So there's going to be a lot of project manager up and coming right now, but do we have to follow that framework in terms of like, can't we get someone that's won in multiple places at least? Yeah. Can't we push for someone like a?
There's not many who've done that though. There's only Ancelotti.
There's Ancelotti, and
we've had Jose already.
Give me Ancelotti then. Let's go for Ancelotti. Why not?
But Ancelotti is struggling with Madrid this season. Ancelotti is struggling. No, but you can't not care, Joe. You can't not care.
He's struggling with Real Madrid. He's struggling with Real Madrid. Yeah. I tell you,
the last time Ancelotti came to a struggling English team, what did he do?
Would you not rather trust him with a project than someone who doesn't?
I will not, because he's not a project manager. I will not. He's not.
I would trust him.
So, Uncle, you want a project manager? Is that what you're saying? You want the project manager?
Yeah? Every team takes some project managers.
So the next time I ever hear you bashing Arteta, yeah, we can have a go at you for dissing a project manager then.
Have you ever heard me bashing Arteta?
No, I'm just saying if we ever hear you say it. If we
I
ever hear
have
you say it.
never
You might
said
have
it.
already said it. You might have
I
already
have
said
never
it,
said it.
but
No, because
no,
I
that's what I
always
mean.
give
I
compare
can't
every
remember
time.
if you said it or not, but if I ever hear you
I
bash
never
a
said
project
it.
manager, yeah, or the team, if you or taking a piss or whatever, then we can come after you then.
I have never said it. In
No,
fact,
that's not what
I
I'm
would
saying.
always give comparison.
That's not
I
what
would
I'm
always give
saying. I'm just saying we
comparison.
don't ever want to
One
hear
at a
you
time.
bash.
One at a time. Here we go
We
again.
don't
Here we
ever
go.
want to hear you bash a project manager or the results. If it's whether Ender Maresca.
No. We heard you, Pav. We heard you. Yes, you're going to get at him. We heard you, Pav. Stop with the shouting, blood. Right, listen.
And that I support a project manager does not mean there won't be bad ones. It doesn't mean that all project managers are fantastic. Simple.
Uncle, don't let me mute you
Joe,
as well.
look at the poll,
One
please.
second. Hold on, what's the poll saying? Hold on, you guys. 1 second. Let me read this. God gave us an opportunity to see the Amorim's shit without spending money, and we want to throw that away.
Amen.
That's
well said.
This is the thing. Don't get me wrong. I hear what he's saying, but that's unfair then to get rid of a manager before he's had anything to implement in terms of his own style of what he envisions. I don't think
Can I
that's
ask
fair
something, bro?
that quickly.
Moyes only
Go on.
had 25 mil, and he took a few months to show us that he was shit as well. So I'm just saying, innit?
Can I ask something? Yeah.
Go on.
How can a shit manager win the league when in a league where two teams are winning the league, like only Porto and Benfica every year, exchanging? How can a shit manager take a club from a 5th place, 6th place, and win the league after 19 years?
Maybe the league is
The league is in a strong. You know that.
What?
Maybe that's the reason, because you know the teams underneath those two teams. Yeah, if you get good results against those teams who are not as good, who are not up to Premiership quality, then you probably are going to do a lot better. Do you understand what I mean? But you see, in the Premier League,
you want Ancelotti. You want Ancelotti that is winning in a three team league. Is it not the same thing happening in the La Liga? Is it not Real Madrid, and Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid?
We're not going to do that. The quality of that league is a lot better. Let's not do that.
He goes across waters and then beats teams like us. Yeah, he goes across the water as well and beats bigger teams. It's not like he just plays in the league, bro. He goes into Champions League and he wins it.
Can I ask you a question, Joe? Can I ask you a question?
Undefeated.
You've already answered this question. Funny enough, right? But so I'm going to ask another way. Do you think Ancelotti can do what he's doing on the budget?
No.
More pragmatic.
Maybe you haven't seen how much Real Madrid spend on players.
Yeah, but
look what he did with Everton. He had Everton in
Yes,
so why didn't he succeed with Everton?
I think he can.
So why didn't he succeed with Everton?
Listen,
Everton, he had them in 8th place before he left.
Look at where Everton was before. I was about to say that. Look where Everton was before he left.
My question to you was, can Ancelotti do it on a budget? Yeah, because
can Amorim do it on a budget?
We're not going to spend a lot of money on players, and that's exactly a very similar situation to Everton. Did he succeed there? Did he win a trophy? Did he get into Champions
No, but
League?
he had them a lot higher than Moyes has them. Let's be real.
Moyes took over this year, bro.
My question still stands. Did he do something with them that's different to what they've been doing most of the time? So they got to 8th. Did they do anything else special?
No, he dipped and went back to Real Madrid, didn't he? He dipped. He saw Real Madrid. They asked him back, and he went back to Real Madrid halfway through the season.
You already have one of the best squads in the league. Every year, without doubt, they will pay some ridiculous money that we've never seen on players. And when they...
That's fair.
And then of course, yes, he has the man management. I'll give you that. But anyone that watches Real Madrid on a regular basis know that he's tactically inept. His training is inept. Bayern Munich players said that. He's not a good coach. He's a great man manager. That's what you want to bring to this lot.
He's a great man manager.
And don't forget, people always say Ancelotti will give his attackers the expressive freedom. Is it this Man United attack you want to give freedom to express themselves? Is it Garnacho?
You just said he's not a great coach yet. Hold on. Let me ask Gabs. You just said Ancelotti's not a great coach. Is Amorim a great coach?
No one said he's not a great coach.
No, but I'm just asking, innit? Is Amorim a great coach? Because if he is, why isn't he coaching his way out of this bullshit that we're seeing every week?
Because he's been here for months.
I don't care. He's had more than enough time to improve the team a little bit. He's had more than enough time. He's had more than enough time. He's had more than enough time, bro. I'm seeing the same shit every week.
Can I reply back to you?
No improvement.
Say there's no improvement. You say
But
there's
it's
no
not true, Pav.
It's
just not true.
Let me answer this. You say there's no improvement,
There
but yet
has been little improvement. It's not enough.
Hold on, let me finish. You say there's no improvement, yet we create more chances on goal than most of the teams ahead of us. And we weren't doing that.
Which is why some of you are just pure lying.
So we didn't do that under Ten Hag. We didn't create a lot of chances. Amorim has come. We're now creating as much chances as teams in the top six.
You don't create more chances.
Is that
I don't think that's right.
We do.
The statistics are there, man. You don't have to argue too
We
much.
don't face as much shots on target as well. We don't face as much shots on target as well. We're not open like
Exactly.
Like
So
exactly.
understand that. Have I
the problem.
what improvement means?
And this is what I was trying to say.
There's a little improvement. I'm not denying it.
The only improvement you a lot of you are actually looking for is putting the ball at the back of the net. Every other thing you don't consider improvement, and that is
I think there's been improvement. Little improvement in the shape. That's as far as it goes, really.
He's got them seeing football in a different light, in a different way. So they're able to create these opportunities.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Joel, I was going to ask you to please speak on what you was about to say because we can't hear you. Your phone sounds a bit low. So...
No, it's cool. I didn't have much to say. I literally just agreeing with what Abs was saying. Like there is little improvements based off what I said earlier. You walked away. He's making them play football in a different type of way, so we're able to create these opportunities and these chances.
All right. So for me, I kind of want to push back on that when everybody says that we weren't creating chances under Ten Hag, right? I hate that. I hate when people are saying that because before I was on the Ten Hag out train, right? It was one thing I was saying that we're just waiting for it to click. We was creating so many chances at the beginning of this season, sorry, yeah. And then we just weren't getting the ball in the back of the net, And I was saying that if it doesn't click, then he's going to be fired soon. That's what we kept saying. And it's the same thing that's happening now. We're creating a lot of chances and it's not clicking. But I just feel like he deserves more time because he hasn't had a chance to have his players. That's the only reason why I feel like he deserves more time. But anyway, I hate when people say that. Wajid, welcome to the show, bro. What did you have to say?
Well, one, Joe, can you put the poll up in the chat and let Josh speak on the poll?
I can't put the poll up in the chat.
Sorry, as in, can you put the result up?
I think Yo-Yo has to do that. I can't do it from this studio.
All right. Bro, he's gonna be here next season. I don't like all this in out. He's going to be here next season. This is Ineos's guy, right? Ineos have catastrophically, in my opinion, and I said this before they bought the club as well. When I was getting attacked about, it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Ineos can't fail with Amorim after all the fanfare, after everything. So this brother is going to be here. They will back him in the summer. Whether he gets all his players is a different matter. But if any manager is going to get backed, it's going to be this guy. Now, if he fails and if he starts failing towards October, and I said this yesterday on the show, then it's going to be a free for all. It's going to be a total free for all, and it's going to be toxic. And we're going to be looking for a new manager and a manager that fits the system, and etc. But everyone said January time, we're happy for a rebuild. The focus is on Europe. We were shit in the league. We were 13th, 14th. No one expected us to get the Champions League in the league this season, right? 100. And now there's a massive meltdown everywhere. If we get knocked out of Europe, then go crazy. At this moment in time, there is still a chance of European football next year. When everything falls apart, then ring the sirens and all that. That's just my opinion on everything.
Yeah, if we go out of Europe, it's going.
How long are you giving him, Richard? How long are you giving him next season then?
Joe, I said this to you yesterday. If he starts the same way Ten Hag started with the whole preseason, and we're 11th, 12th, and 7 games in, and it's 2 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses, or 5 losses, or whatever, then he might not be the guy. Because for me, like if he has a whole preseason, gets majority of his players, he probably won't get everyone. And given how bad this season has been, and he's had time to experiment and test and do whatever else, if he starts horrifically next year, then there's conversations to be had. But I'm not gonna throw the guy under the bus when he's come into a shit situation. He didn't want to come till the summer. Everyone has complained that these players have been shit for the last 3 years. Like we've still got Maguire who was bought under Ollie, and how many times have people complained about Maguire? Well, like Maguire's needed to go for God knows how long. Lindelof got bought here under Jose, and he's only just leaving this summer. Like there's massive problems, and Amrin is now the focal point of what everyone of the current situation. But it's all about it's always has been about the board, and Ineos are getting away with a lot of shit. The Glazers are getting away with a lot of shit. Amrin's just the focal point at this point in time. But there was people on this channel saying, Mancunians don't know how to riot. Well, I don't. Where's the mandem that were ready to go to war and fight in Manchester every single week? Like, no, where's all that shit? Like, people were ready to go into jail for Manchester United. Where's that? Why is that shit not happened if we're this bad? Like, people just talk.
The APA is in full effect now, isn't it? So I don't know. Let's see what starts happening, because I feel that we're in a position right now where the fan base is just. What's that mean? What the hell's that mean? Don't distract me. Anyway, the fan base is so.
Peter.
Yeah.
I think he's forgot to put himself on mute.
Yeah. Anyway, listen. First of all, let me pick up Yo-Yo, by the way. Guys, have you seen these polls that are going crazy in the chat right now? That's all Yo-Yo. Go and check out them polls, please. Yeah, but right now, the team, the fan base is so disjointed, so all over the place, because we're just fed up. Everybody's just like, you're in that state of like, I don't care. But at the same time, people are also angry at results like last night, because you're sitting there, you have to go into work, you have to see your friends, you have to go to other fans, and you have to face this music of like, you guys are starting to feel like how I did close to before I said Ten Hag out. Yeah, because there's a lot of defending you have to do at this point. Yeah, where you're like, I don't understand why you guys can't see what I'm seeing. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're fighting an uphill battle against people that just don't seem to understand what you're saying. And this is why I'm giving this guy that sort of time and that leverage to say, you know what? Let's give him what he needs, please. I beg, because I don't want to hear no more excuses come next season. I don't want to hear that, he didn't get all the players he needed. All the players he needed. I don't want to hear that, these players don't understand his tactics. I don't want to hear, he needs another season to implement it. By next season, he has stuck to his logic like everybody asked him to, right? He has stuck to his logic. He's stuck to his plan. He's not deviated from his formation, right? The path is clear for him. This is what he's going to do, and no one is going to stop him from doing it. Now, if he gets the players he needs next season, trust me, if he doesn't do well next season, no one is going to want to hear my mouth about. Anyway. I don't know about anybody else, but next season, basically,
Top Reds are turning already, Joe. Top Reds are turning already. I've seen it.
It has to work. It has to work. It has to work next season. We're fucked again. And this is what I can't stand, because they will get rid of him. They will get rid of him. I almost don't want them to get rid of him if it's fucked. Do you know that? If he's shit next season at the start of next season, I almost want him to stick with him. Because you know why? It's your fucking fault, and we need to stick through. What are we gonna do? Who are we gonna get? What are we gonna go for? Project manager, old manager, established manager. Nothing is fucking working.
Mm-hmm.
What, bro? I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired.
We're shit right now.
All we do is we argue. They don't feel it. They don't feel shit. We just argue and we cuss amongst ourselves, and we get hot and sweaty about bullshit subject matters that don't even really fucking matter. Yeah, because our team's not going to improve under any of this system. If this freaking transfer window does not go good.
Pause on the hot and sweaty, by the way, bro. That might just be you, innit?
Don't care, fam. Yeah, I'm sweaty. I'm sweaty right now, fam. I don't care what it sounds like to you. Pause on whatever you want to pause on. Yeah, fuck this shit, fam. We're getting to the point of where it's like we're going to be a club that just becomes irrelevant. It's like nobody's seeing that. We're on the brink of
Fallen giants.
We're on the way to being Red Everton.
Fallen giants, man. That's what it's going us.
Yeah, I'm just angry, man. I'm
it's a
tired
rebuild,
of arguing with you, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired of arguing with you, man. I'm tired of arguing with you, man. What's the point? There's no point in sitting here talking about
us arguing. You know the funniest thing about us arguing, Joe? Just like the Ten Hag thing, eventually all of us will be on the same page. Get this manager out, right? We're all the
No, but it's you that believe the manager is not going to work. I believe the manager is going to work. So to get the manager out conversation is for you.
Uncle, you sound like me last season. You sound like me last season. You're going on no proof that it's going to work apart from what you see that he's done on the pitch, yeah? And you believe that he can bring this team together. You sound like me of last season.
I hope
you might. No, but what other proof do I need to go off other than what is done on the pitch? What other proof do I can't go off vibes. I have to go off what he's done on the pitch.
What I'm saying is what he's done on the pitch ain't been great. It's been loss after loss.
And
So
what
where's
you
your
see on
proof?
the pitch,
What did he just say?
What was that?
It's gonna work.
Wrap up.
What did you say?
Yeah, I don't think wrap up.
I heard someone speaking like very muffled.
It was wrap up.
Yeah, it was wrap
Sure.
up. It was wrap up.
I think it got wrapped up. Wrap up. You're on mute, by the way. I don't know if you can hear us. Say what you said again.
Yeah, walk on. Now I said, what have you seen that says he's going to be successful? Honestly,
So I've
And this is
mentioned
all
it.
I'm
Do I
saying,
need to
right?
mention it
What we're
again?
all kind of combining to here, right, is what is most likely, like the most likely future outcome, right? And that's where everyone is going to end up in. Like the situation we see now, right? It's kind of like you can see what's coming in the horizon. Like if we give a percent chance of what's the percent chance that the transfer season is going to be the best we've ever had till now, which is what Amorim needs. It's very unlikely.
Comment up. Sorry, go on, keep going, etc.
But why is it unlikely?
Well,
yes, I do.
Not only has Ineos's history, Uncle, been shocking when it comes to sporting, right? We don't have the data to be able to scout properly. Number one, right? So even if we did,
Why? What makes you think Man United don't have the data to scout properly?
Because
where do people get all these statements from?
Articles. It was in the articles, Uncle. United's
But we've seen the same articles where Man United we are offered Caicedo at a very young age. We scouted him, but Glazers refused to buy. We've seen places where Man United was supposed to buy a player at a young age, and Glazers refused to buy, and now the player is doing well. So what happened to those scouts?
All I'm saying
we've
is
seen these times and times again.
All I'm saying is the chances we have an amazing window are not great, and in that scenario, the chances.
But I don't think they're as bad as you people are making it.
I'm sorry, but there was people in here in the summer saying title charge after this window. This is some next level revisionism.
People said
exactly. It's not as bad as you guys are making it out to be.
I'm not one of them guys saying title charge. I was never one of them guys.
I'm not saying I'm not saying you. I'm not saying people specifically because I can't remember everyone. But people are literally saying amazing window, 7, 8 out of 10, best window we've had in years. Title charge incoming. So that's some next level revisionism, man.
Hold on, don't guys remember what Charles was saying? Charles was in here, bro. Charles was title charge. Title charge.
That's why I say
because it was our best ever window till that point, right? But it still wasn't.
Exactly. You just contradicted yourself.
But you just contradicted yourself.
Did you just say that it was our best ever window?
Point doesn't mean it was insane or amazing.
It's not our best ever window.
No, but it was the best window in a long time, and it goes back to what I said when I called earlier. I said if they could back a manager that they didn't fully trust to give him those players in a summer window, what do you think they will do to a manager that they actually brought in and they trust?
And backed himself.
We are just pessimistic for the pessimism's sake of it. Ten Hag was not their guy, but they bought all those players for Ten Hag. And even those that didn't say it was a title charge or whatever, we all agreed that it was a good transfer window for a manager that they didn't fully believed in, that they walked around and spoke to other managers during the summer before they eventually settled with him. Yet, look at the way they backed him in the summer window. And then we somehow choose, rather than looking at facts, we somehow choose to believe that the man that they brought in with their own, by their own choice, they will not back him in the summer window. Let us look at what we are doing, though. Let us just look at how we are analyzing things.
You're right in
Wait,
that aspect,
I need
Uncle,
SLD
that
to
I'm
come into
pessimistic.
the stream now. I need SLD to come. I've had enough of his comments. He needs to be on the stream. He needs to
Those
be
need
on.
to have an amazing
The
window.
man's an elite troll. Just leave him alone.
Oh,
He's
he said
probably
excuses. Excuses.
He's
Joe is having
troll
too
by
much fun.
occupation, bro. He's troll by occupation.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me just. I want to just say something. Yeah, look. If by some point,
by the way, guys, last statements here, because I'm wrapping
yeah,
up.
I just want to make it clear, right? I'm not blindly. I'm not a defense league here, right? I'm not going to be blind. I just think it's unfair for us to be judging this guy's whole managerial potential based on him coming halfway through a season and having an absolute shocking January transfer window and working with the same players all of us have hated for the last 5 seasons, and then expecting him to magically turn them into something else. That's what Ten Hag got the job for at one point, that he was going to make our players better. Half those players are still here. They're not better. They didn't get better. They've just been going worse. So I'm not going to judge him immediately from this season. I'm not saying he has a completely blank statement. I'm still saying maybe 25%, 30% is his fault. But to say that it's all his fault, I'm not doing that. Next season, even if he only gets 4 of these players, I'm not going to expect improvement from this period. If I get that improvement, I'll back him for another season. If I don't get that improvement, I'll be one of the first people to say cut him early. But that's why I'm a 2-year contract.
Who's doing that?
Whoa, what is going?
Who is that?
Brother, who's sanding, bro?
Mad.
But I know.
What the fuck was that?
Joe, why
Either
would you
he's
bring me in and not
standing
say
or
anything?
he's
Joe,
using a
why would
fleshlight
you
or
bring me
something,
in and
bro.
not say anything?
Oh, whoa, Pav. Whoa.
No.
Hey, yo.
Back to us. If he does, if he gets 4 of these players and improves, I'll back him again. If he doesn't, I'm so happy we only gave him 2.5-year contract because it's not really that easy. It's not really that hard to get rid and not cost us that much money. So anyway, that I'll leave that as my last thing. I'm not looking at any other comments because that imagery is wild. I don't know who it is. I'm not even thinking about it. That was
really
the day,
people. I love people. No, oh god. Bring up yourself, man. Oh jeez, that was hella funny. Right, who's next? Cedra.
Yeah.
Give me a final point.
It's fair to say that I am quite pessimistic about this situation, but it's fair to say, that I might be going a bit early on it. But at this stage, I need to see it to believe it, and I'm not.
You're not seeing it, bro. You're not watching the games. You said it yourself in the group chat, bro.
Yeah.
How can you see
I
to
made
believe
that
it when you're not
executive
seeing it,
decision
bro?
to not watch the games. That's where it's come to.
But how can you see it if you're not seeing it?
I've already seen it. I don't need to see anymore. I'm shielding my eyes from any of the torture that I see.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you can't see improvement. So if you don't watch.
I think that's kind of unfair for you to say manager out then if you're not watching the games currently now then, because if you're not seeing,
because you're just going off results.
I'm still just seeing the same mistakes though, Joe, because when I judge a manager, the main things are what are the starting lineups, what are the substitutions, right? What does he say?
Exactly. What was the last game you watched?
Brother,
last game I watched was the Nottingham Forest one, I believe.
Which was when? What the one? The one in 8. The one just gone. Oh.
Yeah, the 1-0. Yeah, the one that's gone.
So what? Last week?
Yeah, but there was a time where that starting 11 and that bench we were hamstrung because a lot of players were injured. So how do you judge a manager where he didn't even have a choice on what players to start? Don't you think there's a bit of bias there?
You could say it's a bit
lot
of
of our
bias.
players are just coming back from injuries.
You could say that, but you could say I'm treating Amorim quite harshly here. And yes, you could say to a point that there is a degree of bias here. But until I'm proven wrong, right, I don't feel a reason why I should be, more optimistic given the circumstances of the ownership, given the circumstances of recruitment
We've
and all
been
these
burnt
sort of
before.
things, for me to expect, massive levels of improvement, right? And then, the reason why I'm Amorim out is I'm considering that situation that might happen when he stays in the future, most likely being that he won't get the players he needs and he gets sacked, right? And I'm thinking, rather than that happening, based on what we've seen so far, would you not try and get someone else? And that's kind of where I'm going at. And yes, this is pessimistic and you could say to a degree biased, but that's just where I'm at.
All right, fair enough. Big up yourself, bro. Do you know what? Yeah, that's kind of a mad take still. I don't understand being mad at something that you've not been watching. But then he said it was only the Ipswich match, which wasn't that the other day?
Bro, he said it on the group chat. I've not watched the last 5 games. Now he's suddenly watched the game against Nottingham Forest. I don't know what's going on, bro.
I don't blame him though.
We're
I
not
don't blame
gonna
him.
we're not
So
gonna lay.
I'll use this as my last stick. Right? I don't blame him, and I don't blame fans that are pessimistic, because our fingers have been burnt several times when we trust in managers and we hope that things turn out well and things don't turn out well. So I don't blame them for feeling this way. What I will say from my own perspective is we saw when Ten Hag came in, and after a few games, he changed whatever he wanted to do just so that we get wins. And then by the time he eventually came back to try and implement his philosophy, our midfield was non-existent, and our team kept being running through like nothing, like we had nothing in the midfield. For Amorim, I'm not backing Amorim off vibes. Now, his players might come in and it might not work out, and that is different. We don't know. But I am seeing improvements on the field of play. If you're not seeing it, it's okay, right? But from the middle of the field, from the post to the middle of the field, when we are trying to play out, we are doing a good job. From where Amorim picked us up from to where we are now, we are doing a lot better at moving the ball and transitioning to the midfield. It is when we've gotten to the opponent's half and we now have to make use of all those possession we've used to play the ball out from the back. We now need to attack and actually score goals. That is where we struggle, and that is what I am seeing, and that's why I believe the signings of athletes and players that can deliver. And when they say if you sign his players and it doesn't work out, an attacking midfielder is an attacking midfielder. If it doesn't work out in Amorim's system, if another manager comes, he will use an attacking midfielder. A winger is a winger at the end of the day. So I am saying what I am saying, and I am hoping that first of all we win the match on Thursday, and hopefully go on to win the Europa League, and then bring in signings for the manager next season. Yes, that's my pick.
You know what? Here we go. Who's next? Let's go to.
Can I do, bro? Can I go? Because I'm at work.
Go on, Peter. Go on. That's fine.
Listen,
Peter, go.
We've improved, but not improved like a lot. So, like I said, we stopped the gaps that we had with the previous terrorist. So we're not as open as then. We concede less shots. We create chances, but the players, that need to end the chances, that need to score, are Garnacho and Højlund. So for me, they are the biggest problems right now with Onana. Once they are replaced with someone else, and the performances are still like this, still losing, as I said yesterday, I will give him like October, November, top 6. That would buy him time until the end of the season. If he ends up in the top 6 at the end of the season, he can get another season. If he's not top 6, October, November, he can go. I don't care. I'm Amorim out if he is not top 6.
Boy, I'm gonna say this though before you go though, 'cause that's a very interesting take before you leave. But don't you think it would be silly then to waste the money in the summer on him?
Brother,
Because it's everything he
Ten Hag
wants, and then
spent 700 million, bro. 700.
yeah, but don't you want to stop making those mistakes? That's what you guys are telling
Listen,
us. We want to
but
stop doing these mistakes.
bro, if your ex cheated on you, what, you will stay single for the rest of your life? No, you'll find someone else. It does, what happened in the past doesn't mean it will happen again, bro. Like you have to give him the money, bro. You have to give him everything. So
Fair enough. You know what?
get me
Your
out of
takes
my
are
work, bro. Get me out, bro. I'm at work.
yeah,
I'll get fired, bro.
Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Get out. But anyway, all right. Who wants to take next?
I'll just say
Okay,
something small.
Josh, go next. Okay, who's gonna say something small? Go ahead.
Go on, Josh. Go on, Josh. You can go. You can go. Because
No, I have to talk. I might have to make a few points. So anybody wants to make closing statements can do that, and then.
Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna close off with this then. I understand the situation they're at. We're in a rebuild. We've thrown money at this project. We've thrown manager at this project, and nothing has worked. I hope this works. It doesn't look likely, but I hope that what we're going through with Amorim is gonna work. I like what he's trying to do with this team. Players that have been here playing in a 4-4-3-3 system, whatever it is. This manager's come in and said, look, you lot have not been good in this type of system. Let's change it. Let's completely rip everything up and let's change the way Man United are going to play. And let's do that from the academy upwards. So I'm on hope and pray right now. I'm on hope and pray vibes right now.
You know what? Joel, before you go, because you just said that, you actually said that you don't think it's going to work. So does that mean that you just don't believe that he's going to be able to improve enough?
I'm not saying I don't think it's going to work. I hope it's going to work. But, people are turning on him already. And he hasn't even had, he's had one transfer window, a January transfer window, when he's been able to bring in one player. And, they listen to the fans, innit? They listen to the fans. When enough fans get on their back, they're gonna pull certain triggers and do certain things. And I don't really want them to listen to fans. I want them to make these decisions themselves. But I feel like fan vote is just gonna basically make them just pull a trigger when they shouldn't have. That's what I'm trying to say when I say I don't think it's gonna work.
I hear that. Because you know what? I do think that is probably going to play a part. I do think the fan pressure is going to make them. Actually, NN, what do you want?
Bro, I'm just here to see how you're gonna do it, innit? What's wrong?
You're here with a couple of us. What did you come here to ask us then?
How are you guys doing? Because I didn't get to watch your match, innit? But I saw the chat. The chat was going on.
No,
I can't ask questions. I can't ask questions.
No, you can't ask questions. Get out. Is that the question you came to ask? I'll wait. I'll talk to him afterwards. Hey, listen, Josh.
No, I'll go next.
Yeah, why'd you go then?
Yeah, so don't let Amorim's results miss the fact that there's a larger point, which is Amorim has more wins than Joe has streamed Truth is Truth this year.
Mad.
Just
why?
Just why? Just allow me, bro. I'm just trying to do these shows, bro. It's not a lie. How much wins does Amorim actually have?
6.
All right, so I need to stream 7 times. All right, all right, cool. Well, I'll deal with that. Go on there, wrap up. Talk that talk.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. There has been little improvements, but not enough significant improvements. The main thing where we've improved is the defense. But as an attacking outlet, it's still horrendous, and it just relies on individuals such as Xerxes, Bruno, bloody blah. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna continue to say this. You're not gonna get all your signings. Yeah. So next year, whatever signings you get, they better bang, and you better start coaching. And if you're not 10th,
I was waiting for that line, bro. That's the line I want to hear.
And if you're not 10th, I'm not saying even 6th. If you're not 10th by November, December, you need to get sacked. You need to get potted. Yeah, that's it. That's fair. That's all. That's what I'm asking for. That's it.
What? Do you know what? I thought he was gonna say he's gonna have to coach his way out of this. He's gonna have to. That's what I was waiting for. Or the chickens have come home to roost. One of the two. But anyway, yo, Pav. I'm not gonna end on you, Pav, because I know you'll say something mad.
To be fair, I ain't really got anything mad to say today because nothing really happened, innit? So if Josh wants to go first, he can. And if he says something stupid, then at least I can retaliate.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Because I thought he was going to save
Right.
me till the end, and you might as well end the stream, even if as I begin to speak, to troll me.
Put it this way, my hand is hovering over the end button just because of you two. So go ahead, let's go.
All right. So the thing is, I understand why I wanted to come in 15
Wait,
minutes ago and talk about.
Stop. Sorry. Just in case one of you say a mad thing, I'm gonna read the super chat. Okay. Eric Ten Hag's team, Eric Ten Hag team this season was creating more big chances than current team. Amorim is ish. No matter how we dress it up, he will be sacked. That's what the last super chat says. Now, I don't know how to say his name. I'm just gonna say Modesi. That's what I'm going to say. Modesti said that. But yes, go on. You two have at it, and I'm ready to lock it off if you guys go south. So let's go.
I just think I wanted to come in 10 minutes ago and speak about the fact that how some fans are coming in here and they're talking about these players don't show up for the games and they don't do this or they don't do that, and they knew how the results were going to go. I think what I initially wanted to talk about was how Pav was trying to tell everyone that the manager needs to adapt. But the thing is, what we need to see from this guy are improvements. I think that's what fans really need to talk about. It's not about throwing. It's not about one game. So, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow if we go and lose the Europa League game? What happens then? Like, are we going to see another crash
out campaign? APA is going to be on full charge because they're going to have to be doing some mad protection, bro.
So the thing is, yeah, and I heard Uncle with some howlers, right? He's talking about Carlo Ancelotti didn't adapt with Everton. I mean, Everton was like 7th, 8th, and I remember watching their football, and it was pretty good. And Slot is maybe a project manager, but they brought him in because he knew what to do with that Liverpool squad. In my opinion, when you ask for a new manager and you're saying what type of manager you want, you talk about a manager that comes in and plays to the strength of the players and plays a system that benefits the players in the long term. Even if you can get rid of the players, you bring in new players that benefits them and benefits the system in the long term. So when you talk about getting a new manager, you don't go bringing in the same manager who can do the same thing, because this guy, and one of his criticisms, I think, is that he's unable to improvise. And this is his own quote, because Amorim has said that I only know how to do one thing, and if I may get sacked on it, then so be it. So that's my thing. That's my headache with Amorim. Like, that's the only thing he knows, and he's admitted it. So let's not ever look down on a future manager who can come in, adapt, and wait his turn to play with his style and his players. Let's not ever look down on a manager who can do that, because I think that's one attribute we might have taken away from previous managers who've come in and adapted. So fantastic, Amorim has given us the low block, and he's given us, the fact that we concede less. But he needs to do more and he needs to do better, obviously. So give him the players he needs. And if I'm saying anything about his signings, give him Gyökeres. We need Gyökeres at Manchester United. That's what I'll say. The more I research about this guy, about Amorim, and the more I research about his system, everything leads to Gyökeres finishing those goals. And the reason Amorim's system worked in Portugal is because he knew how to exploit teams. He was actually technically a decent manager in Portugal, which is why he went and ripped it to shreds. That's another thing.
Who said in time he won't adapt to these teams over here? Who said in time he won't adapt to these teams?
It will take time, but how much time? The thing is, the league is different, Joe. It's not just Amorim's fault. The league knows. I'll tell you what.
To adapt to this league and the teams and the way they play.
Yeah, but did you see how Thomas Tuchel, his 3-4-3 was unstable as well. They kept losing, drawing, losing, and he was signing centre backs after centre backs after centre backs, and they sacked him. I mean, it was a whole new regime, etc., etc. But what I'm saying is, the teams know you're going to play with with wing backs. They know you're going to do a low block and they're going to keep running through you long term anyway. So my thing is, when you ask about a new manager, you give him the time, but you also don't look down on the fact that he's abandoning his principles. It's okay to do that. That's what I'd say. But if we crash out of the Europa
I
League,
wouldn't say abandon your principles. I think you should adapt
adapt it.
towards
Yeah,
the
okay,
team
fine.
with your
Yeah.
principles. Because obviously, the reason why you hire a manager in the first place isn't just so you can come over here and start playing Lego. Do you know what I mean? You bring them over here because I saw your characteristics at the last team, and I want those same building blocks that you was using over here. Whether you might have to adapt it a little bit to suit the players that we have and to suit the league that we're in is
So
another
yeah,
question. But I want your principles here because that's why I brought you. But I want you to adapt it to what you have, obviously, because what else? What's the point if you can't do that? What is the point in you? But anyway, Josh, you've had a lot of time to wrap up. Last thing, say it right now.
nah, I mean, we'll still be here if we crash out of the Europa League, but I hope we win that match. So we can talk about going one step forward. But if we crash out, the conversations are going to be the same. It's not about us throwing away a game. It's about how we decided to tackle this season. And the fact that we started it by thinking that we can throw it away by doing a preseason thing is the real criticism of this manager. And that's what I'd say. But also, can I just add to something? Everybody's talking about my spreadsheet and PowerPoint presentation. Like,
Yeah.
can we tease this? Is there a way to tease this presentation so that we know there's something?
But we
How
don't
do we
know
not-
that when you're doing it. It's not
How
been
do I
confirmed
do
when
this?
we can't tease it until we know when you're confirmed, bro. Get your shit together, and then when your shit is together, we will promote the thing.
Fine. All right. I've showed it to Yo-Yo anyway, but let's see. We'll get into that later. Thanks.
All right. Don't worry, we got your number, bro. I got your number. Just hold on me.
Go for it. Go for it.
All right, speak to you in a bit, bro. Big up. Now, Pav.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you disconnected.
No,
Here we
no,
are.
yeah.
Actually, no. Pav and NN. Here we go. Let's do this. Pav and NN. NN. Have you got any more serious? Have you got any serious questions you'd like to ask us, or are you just here for vibes?
What do you mean? I just want to know what's happened. You got rid of the problem in Onana and you held 4. That's what I wanted. Those are serious questions.
So what's your point?
Are those not serious questions?
Yeah, we had 2 mistakes in the match. We had 2 mistakes from 2 individual mistakes from 2 players, yeah, which led to goals. So there's 2 of your goals, yeah. And then the other 2 goals were goals, isn't it? What do you want from us?
I heard Garnizzi scored, didn't it? How was he playing?
You heard who?
Garnizzi. I heard he scored.
I don't know who you're responding to. Sorry, who's that?
Garnacho. I heard Garnacho scored. I heard did Garnacho play well? Did he play well?
He scored a goal. He scored a goal.
He scored a goal.
It was a goal scored. He scored a goal.
You know what's crazy?
The word is he's contributed.
You know what's crazy? He has less GA than Jadon Sancho in the Premier League. That's crazy when you think about it. The guy that has all your... Is that not crazy? Is that not crazy? Come on, the guy that you guys have been calling a bum at Chelsea has more GA than... You don't think that's crazy, Joe?
Are you giving us our 25 mil then?
Nah, bruv. 5 mil. We don't run it back. You pussies. You ain't getting no 25 mil.
No, just get out, bro. Why you just?
What do you mean get?
Get out. Fam, end the show, bro.
Whatever happens in the summer, Ineos have to get it right, because I'll be honest, I'm not going to throw my toys out the pram if Amorim's still here in it. I'm just going to have to deal with it, innit? But I will criticise the guy for the performance and whatnot in it. So it is what it is, innit? But I'm not here being sheep like everyone else, having to agree with people because they're being positive. I'll say what I want to say, and no one ain't going to change that. You can end the show.
To be honest, we promote that here on Reckless Sports because we literally live on the edge of recklessness when it comes to everything. So people, this is a space for you to talk your mind. I know sometimes people get sinned in, sometimes people get told to be shut up, whatever. But please, no name calling, none of that. No personal attacks on people. But as far as it goes, everybody should speak their mind and everybody should get off their opinions, because your opinion is your opinion at the end of the day, and that's how we have conversations. People, it's been a good show, but you know, I got things to do. Who said bring me in? SOD, you're not here. You're a liar. Don't lie to me. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. You liar. You liar. But people, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go check out my channel that never posts anything. It's called Backhand Entertainment. Although, yeah, actually, I did post something. It just wasn't truth is truth. But guys, halftime hooks. Big up yourself, bro. I'm gonna call you later still. But we're just ending the stream, guys. Take care. Have a nice day. And yeah, I think I forgot to do what I was supposed to do. So take care. Later.
Drop a bomb, 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 bomb.
Back with a vengeance. KG's back with an entrance. Big up to those in attendance.
Ooh, look at that.
Reds come together like Tetris. No rules, this one's reckless. KG, this one's crazy.
You're too lucky that.
None can compare with the KG Don. Better take cover when he drops that.
Bomb,
Going
bomb,
on reckless, just it's on. It's that time when he drops that.
Bomb, bomb. I said drop a bomb, Dad.